So, in this section of the video, we're going to cover the 5 mistakes that can slow down your project management journey. So one of them is not doing research or skipping the research phase. Research phase enables you to understand and appreciate what you need to do first in project management. It can also enable you to make a decision as to whether you want to proceed as a project manager or you want to change and do some other profession. So don't make that mistake of trying to skip the research. It's very, very important. Second one is trying to study theory without practice. I'm telling you, it's very important that after every education, theory, online course, you also do the practice. From my experience, there are certain cases where you might not even be able to learn something through reading. It has to be something practical. So always make sure that you have some ways to practice. Remember, we spoke about different ways to practice. One of them is also to volunteer, to shadow some PMs. Some of them is also to run with small projects. You can also even offer yourself to be project administrator and so on and so forth. So theory and practice is very important. Don't skip that process. Then the third mistake that most people they try to do is to chase every certification. I'm telling you, that is not necessary. It's better you get 1 or 2 certifications than you practice. You don't need to do everything. I've seen so many people, if you check on some LinkedIn profiles, they have 6, 7 certification for project management. But if you look at how they make some of these comments, it becomes, you try to understand whether that was very helpful. Even if you see them in practice, I've met one of the project managers who was very qualified in terms of certifications, but he had not done any much in terms of practice. So it was very difficult for that person also to survive. So it's very important that you don't need to chase every certification. You choose which certification to do. And then one of the mistakes also that can even derail your journey as a project manager is to try to wait until you are ready. I can tell you there's never 100% readiness that you can have, even exam. That is why in exam, they don't say you've passed because you've got 100%. They give you a range. Say, for example, 70 to 100, 80 to 100, 90 to 100. So when you have decided and intentionally want to be a project manager, it's very important that you also start. Some of these things, they become very clear once you start. I can give you a good example of how I started this channel. If you look at my old videos, they are totally different from what I have now. Why? Because once you start, you gain experience, you gain confidence, you gain momentum. So don't always think that I only have to do that when I'm ready, okay? It's not going to be very much practical. You cannot be saying I'm ready for certification now. You can never say that I'm ready to become a project manager. You create a plan that can move you towards readiness. Then you go straight for it. That is very, very, very important. Then in your journey also on becoming a project manager, one of the mistakes I've seen people doing is ignoring soft skills. I can tell you, soft skills are very important for your survival as a project manager. You need soft skills for communication. Communication is very important. There's nothing that you do in a project that doesn't involve communication. For example, you want to communicate your plan to the team. Not your plan, but the end result of the plan. You want to communicate the work breakdown structure to your team. You want to communicate the risks associated with your project to your team, to the sponsor, and even to the executives of the organization or business. Okay? You want to also communicate progress in terms of how you are doing in the project. You want to communicate change requests. Okay? You want to communicate, if it's an agile environment, you want to communicate the sprint log. Okay? So communication is very, very important. So soft skills like communication, you also need them. Soft skills like just normal conversations with your team. I can tell you it's very important to always have some conversations, formal or informal, with any stakeholder. Okay? Not just your team, any stakeholder in the project. There are certain conversations which, if you always apply them in your project, throughout the project, they help your project to be successful. If you want to understand more about those conversations, I've also created a video on the best conversations that you can have as a project manager in a project environment. So make sure that in your journey, because remember you've decided to become a project manager, you don't make these 5 mistakes. You skip your research, and also you start theory with no practice. You are trying to chase every certification. You are waiting for readiness, and you ignore soft skills. That is not going to help you to achieve your goal to become a project manager. If you want me to create additional videos based on what we have discussed in this video, or maybe there's a concept or idea that is not clear to you and you need more information about it, you can reach out to me or you can let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.